Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Hello and happy Friday. All right, let me just make sure audio is coming through. All right, sweet. We got some music, we got some audio, and we are live. So, what's the title of the stream? Friday Funday, SPS Pumpday. Indeed, look at that price on SPS. Still not at a penny, so we still have a very, very long way to go for those seeking redemption, if redemption can even be achieved. But you know what? I'll take a green candle day whenever we can get it. This is probably one of the more predictable green candle days anyway, considering that we have Conclave Arcana coming out in just a few weeks, or at least the pre-sale coming out in just a few weeks, and then the general sale beginning in about a month. So let me double check, make sure that we are live across the board. I see we're live on YouTube. I think it's on X and Twitch as well. Oh, you know what? Hold on, I can check now. And then we'll dive into some fun stuff. All right, I see it on Twitch. I'm not going to check X. I'm going to assume that X is all good. We were live last night with the usual Trinity plus a special guest, Dave McCoy. So if you did not watch that live stream, I hope you will check it out. If only for Dave's sake, because Dave actually dropped some alpha. We talked about a lot of really just insightful things from the team's perspective and obviously his perspective since joining the team. And ultimately, I think we're heading in the right direction. I don't know, like for people who've been on the live stream, especially like the Trinity ones, where you've seen myself, Lorcas, and Tails discuss a lot of stuff that we may not be super happy with. It's not even necessarily like bearish streams. It's just a lot of stuff that we wanted to see done better. It was great to have Dave come on and to be able to talk to him and go through all that. I think Dave is doing a lot of awesome things behind the scenes. And yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to the team. I think that they are firing on all cylinders now. And hopefully, with Dave's kind of leadership, we can get even more cool things coming down the pipeline. So I find that to be very exciting. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but that's where we're at. Now, from a token value perspective, we are seeing a nice pump in the ecosystem. So obviously DEC is up over 900 Splintoshis, 912 to be exact. We're seeing SPS at 0.0084. I'd love to see that get back to a penny, but I would love for us to actually activate the flywheel before we get back to a penny, because a lot of my calculations were on how much SPS we would need to burn were at a penny or below. Vouchers are now starting to slide down, which is not unexpected. We are now a month into the Keeling Gains era, so we got about 2 months left. And to see us pump to above 2 cents was fantastic. We held it for quite a while, and now I expect to kind of like slide down unless they can give vouchers other utility, which we kind of voted against. So I don't know. But wouldn't it be cool if there was like an arcane foil version that you could get potentially by spending extra vouchers on your rolls? That would be fun. That's something that they should implement. There's another idea. So obviously not for this one, but whenever the first Conclave Arcana era voucher promo card, that's a mouthful. Whenever that comes out, probably in June, would be a good idea. Just extra voucher utility, or I guess people could just use black foil potions. Oh, hold on, wait. See, I'm getting still confused. There's a difference between black foil and then the black foil arcane and gold foil arcane. So I don't know if they're gonna have black foil and gold foil arcane, but it'd be kind of cool. See how that plays out. Bitcoin is back at 82K. And you know what I have not checked in a while? I know it's not related to this, but I do want to see MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is at almost $300. Where's the MNAV? All right. Multiples at about 2, a little over 2. Feels like things are heating up a little bit, no? I don't know. This could just be a little pump and dump action, and then we go back down to the 70s. But it's like the tariffs came, the market reacted, and now we're in kind of like a. I mean, it is uncharted territory, and I'm not a tariff expert, so I'm not going to pretend to play one on the internet. Um, but it seems like the markets have calmed down a little bit, because the only thing the markets really don't like is uncertainty, right? So we got now. Obviously, there's still a lot of uncertainty, but we've seen what happened when the tariffs came out. We'll see what happens as we move forward, but there's like a 90-day grace period for most countries. So hold on, let's. Oh, see, they even got Strife and Strike. So many options here. Bitcoin's at 82.6. Very nice. Okay, let's let's close out of this. We can go back there and refresh. Let me stop by the chat real quick because I see a couple of you guys popping in here now. We got Bananas ready to partay. Oh, what happened? There it is. And then Dave, Banana says, Dave puts everyone in a better mood. I noticed. I mean, Dave is just, he's a fantastic community member, and I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. It already sounds like he's done a lot to take things off of Matt's plate. And so, you know, I'm just excited. He's run his like multiple businesses before. He knows how to operate. He knows how to execute. And so I think that he'll be a welcome addition to the team of just streamlining things, versus Matt's more laissez-faire style, which again has suited Matt. I'm not saying that there's something inherently bad about that, because I actually agree with like how Matt approached the whole thing with Cryptomancer. Like you want to find good people, passionate people, and then let them do their thing, right? But we also need deadlines sometimes, and we need somebody to kind of like look at the bigger picture of how is all this stuff going to happen and what's our goal. You know, people get excited about projects here and there. Is that moving us towards the goal that we want, right? The goals that we set out. And I think where Dave and Lorcas really aligned well is the idea that we just need new players, right? We need to grow the game, and not even from a sense of like, oh my God, we need bag holders to come in and, you know, buy up our SPS. No, it's just there's a lot of extra assets in the game, and so that's been a huge drag on the ecosystem. And any business out there, any business wants to grow, right? Like whether crypto or not, any business wants to grow. So I think in this kind of situation, a business or this business growing, or this ecosystem, we should call it really, growing, becomes a net benefit for everybody involved. And I think you can come in with a bunch of different, everybody comes in with different expectations, different goals, different strategies, right? And I think it's nice that we can play into that more, especially with the collector mindset of Conclave Arcana. But you know, now we have what's that called? Land up and running, and we'll finally be getting some cool utility, like actual output utility for the resources on land, which would be fantastic. We have which is a whole separate game, right? You have the regular TCG, Modern and Wild. You have survival mode, which in a sense is something that caters to collectors as well, not of like maybe specific items, right, or rare items, but of people that just want to have a bunch of cards, right? Like, can you imagine like all the Magic the Gathering or the Pokemon cards? If you had all those cards and could do something with them, right? Land was supposed to be that, but Land has its own kind of like intricacies, and you know, it's different from the game. Whereas like now, it's like, man, I really like this Brave Tofu card, or I really like Possibilis the Wise. It's one of my favorite cards, right? Just in general. And now there's a benefit to me owning 1,500 of them for whatever reason. I can do something with them. New Age is here. What's going on, New Age? Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well. And we got Angela CS in the house. What's going on, Angela? How are you? All right, so one thing that I was trying to follow up on a little bit more yesterday was the DEC situation, because we had like 200 million DEC just show up in player accounts. But I was told by Royal Eagle and Claiborne in the Shard room that that's not going back into circulation, even though it kind of feels like it is, because it's like part of the bridge thing. But and like the way that this is shown, it very much shows that, but I don't know. I guess it's not real circulation. It's just this is only tracking what's on Hive, right? So since we're not tracking what's on BSC or on ETH, we're getting, anytime that makes its way into the ecosystem, we're starting to show that. So in a sense, we got to a point where we needed about 200 million, or we've had about 200 million DEC come in to the ecosystem, which is good. They pushed the bridge to the limit, and now the bridge needed reinforcements. So our market cap is not accurate right now. Although I'll take this, just because a higher market cap is not necessarily a bad thing. But check this out. I remember when this was over 2 million, and now, like, I don't know, over the course of the last 12 months or however long, like, we've opened up another 200,000 packs. 200,000 packs. That's a lot, guys. I mean, there's still 1.8 million floating around out there. But look at this. Even the pack prices of Chaos Legion has popped up. Remember, you can get these for a quarter. Blockchain project says, so where does SPS go until main sale day? I don't know, man. I watched that Bulldog video. Shout out to Bulldog and ChatGPT. And he was like challenging somebody to challenge him on it. I mean, look, it's and I'm glad that he did it, because I like it in terms of like following what ChatGPT was doing. A lot of it makes sense. I think it's a little outlandish. What ChatGPT is not factoring in is where people would be planning to sell. And I think that there's a lot of sell pressure well before we even get to like 5 cents. I think a lot of people probably bought 0.6, 0.7, maybe even 0.8, and they're going to take a clean 2x and let the rest of it ride. All right? A clean 2x is a penny and a half. So, I mean, maybe they wait for a 3x. We're talking about like 2.5 cents now, maybe. But, this idea of like going to the absolute moon. I mean, I would love to be wrong. I just like, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, we're going to 25 cents or 60 cents. I still think the top for this cycle is 10 cents. And that's if we can even get there. To go from a bottom of pretty much less than half a penny up to 10 cents would be like a 20x. Now, I've said before, what I would love to see is not like some massive like spike up, because then that's going to leave us coming down. But just a slow, steady, methodical way in which we can keep burning SPS, because our run rate for DEC exceeds that, and we don't end up with extra DEC supply, right? Like I can't even really trust this anymore, but there's like 1.4 billion DEC here. Well, we'll just say 1.5 billion, right? With what the company has and market pools. But how much of that could potentially come in from other spots as well? So you got 1.5 billion DEC here. Let's say we mint another 1 billion DEC. 2.2 billion is what we would need to sell out the entire pre-sale. Now, let me be very clear. To sell out the pre-sale, it's going to be 4.4 billion DEC worth of demand. But half of that gets recirculated in, which I don't think anybody's really factoring in, including ChatGPT, where half of that gets recirculated back out. I have to imagine the team's going to sell some of it to cover their costs, right? And just to put themselves in a good position. If DEC is at peg, they should absolutely be selling and converting that into cash or to stables or whatever. Because the biggest risk that I see is another massive DEC overhang after a major rush like a Conclave Arcana presale. So what do I mean by that? Like, okay, yes, SPS could hit some stupidly high numbers if we just get fully into the hype cycle and we end up minting, 4.4 billion DEC. But as I said earlier, if we mint, well, not maybe we mint 3 billion DEC, but if we mint 3 billion DEC to cover that 4.4 billion DEC demand, only half of that goes to the DAO. The other half of that, 2.2 billion, recirculates back into the game economy. And guess what? We got to do something with it. We have to eat that up somehow, some way. So my hope is that we actually don't even burn for the presale. And I know this is coming off as like bearish, but you know what? Somebody's got to be Papa Bear. So I will wear the title once again. And here we go. See, I'm prepared now. I'm prepared. Papa Bear's back in the house. Let's go. So I would love to see no more than 1 billion DEC get minted. Now, that doesn't mean I don't want the presale to sell out. I absolutely do want the presale to sell out. So how would we make it happen? Well, the team would need to actively be recirculating that DEC back into the ecosystem very quickly. Like, they get it, they sell it. If they're going to do this whole thing where, we're going to hold on to it for a little while and just use it for backend credits may not come into the system fast enough for them to facilitate those backend transactions, which means we end up in a situation where all of a sudden, and this is why I'm saying the team should be doing this, or should not, or should try to avoid this, and should be selling. But we get into a situation where, for example, sorry, let me just respond here real quick. Okay. We get into a situation where let's say it goes absolutely buck wild. We get our 4.4 billion DEC, half goes to the DAO, but then the other team, then the team is sitting on the other half. They're sitting on 2.2 billion DEC, worth $2.2 million at peg. But then the need for SPS to convert it to DEC isn't there anymore. The need for DEC dies down a little bit, so people start selling their DEC. The price of DEC goes down, and all of a sudden this $2.2 million nest egg drops back down to 800 Splintoshis. It loses 20% of its value, and the team's like, oh, shoot, we should have sold. Now, if they sold, yes, that brings the price of DEC down, but at least we know that they are covered, and then it makes packs a little bit cheaper for us as we move forward. And if they sell strategically where it's just not all the way at the end, and they're selling, as hype is coming in, so like 100,000 here, or sorry, not 100,000, but like 1 million here, 10 million there, right? That's where I think we could be put in a better spot, where the market can kind of eat that up over the course of 3 weeks. That is the presale. All right. Sorry, I'm getting lost in my own thoughts here. So let's jump back into the chat. Blockchain projects. I guess I didn't really answer your question. Where does SPS go until main sale day? I'm just skipping ahead. You said I would be happy with 2 cents. I can see we did a 3x when Land 1.5 and Rebellion came out. I think we can. Like saying a 3x is just like arbitrary, right? So the question becomes, how much capital is ready to come into the game if you have less players but more confidence, right? It's kind of like a little dichotomy there. Like, I think that there are less players that are willing to spend, but the players that are willing to spend, I think, are willing to spend more money. And when you consider it, right, like Rebellion, 500,000 packs at 4,000 DEC a pop was 2 billion DEC worth of demand. Like, we did that. We got pretty close. It was like 493,000 packs. Now, 2 billion, we're jumping it up to 4.4 billion. Is there 4.4 billion worth of demand? I don't know. That's the big question. with less players. But I'll tell you this: I have a lot more confidence in Conclave Arcana packs after seeing how well Rebellion has done. Right, and you know who I was just talking to this morning? You guys will appreciate this. I was literally just talking with Darkest Night this morning about this very fact, because I told him, just like both Keys and I are like super hyped. We both bought SPS yesterday, and then apparently both had separate conversations with Darkest Night. And so I was like trying to explain to him, just like, well, obviously the prices come down here, but if you go to the website, let's see, because Hive Engine, actually let's check Hive Engine too. I mean, there's no volume. No, the ask is $5. Oh, somebody probably sold. Yeah, okay. So you had a couple people that just wanted to offload. Okay. So like the ask is over $5 on Hive Engine, and it is $469 on the non-card market on the website. So this is what I was trying to explain to Darkest Night. I'm just like, yo, we're in a situation now where like Rebellion, I mean, people bought Rebellion packs for $4 or cheaper, and now these packs are going for, you know, we'll call it 20 to 25% above their original price. Now, that's over the course of like 18 months, but these packs did get you some benefits along that time if you stake them for, you know, on the wagons and all that. Or if you bought them in the pre-sale, they counted towards your promo cards, right? So there were other benefits that were gotten from this. And then now to see them here at this level, what is going on? Okay. Now to see them at this level, 25% up, how many more people are going to have confidence in buying Conclave Arcana packs and holding them for the longer term? Not to mention black foil and gold foil arcane cards become more prevalent as the packs become more scarce, meaning that pack value is somewhat preserved and even heightened because of that. Like, they've really iterated on what worked so well for Rebellion. I don't know how to express that any further. I talked about it in my 5 biggest takeaways yesterday, but it's like, yeah, that's a great move. So my hope is that, you know, we not only do well in the pre-sale, but in the general sale as well. And again, it doesn't have to be right away. In fact, I would love for Splinterlands to be a slow and steady growth. Pack sales, you know, a couple thousand packs a day or whatever it is. We burn the necessary SPS to get the DEC that we need. That DEC gets locked up. That DEC gets burned, right? Through land, through other mechanisms, whatever, you know. And then we buy a couple more packs. We need more DEC, so we burn some SPS. And oh, look who it is! It's Walking Keys. Keys, are you? Hold on. Yo, Keys, you're on speaker, and I'm on live stream. You want to say hello?
What's up, everybody? How are you? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Can I call you back later, or do you want to jump in?
Yeah. Just calling to express my excitement around SPS moving up.
I'm literally talking about that live on stream right now.
Well, then I'm going to join on YouTube live on stream. I'll watch. I'm not going to talk. Bye.
See ya. That's funny. For those of you who miss Keys, I'm trying to get him on a live stream in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. We'll try to do something sometime next week, hopefully. Because you can see he's excited. He's back. He's back in the game. And he loves the whole like collector aspect of this too, which is awesome. I think that's really going to go a long way. All right, so let me catch up on the rest of the chat. So Alex says, SPS up, did I make money? I mean, it depends on where you bought, which is exactly what Blockchain Project says. Is land up? I mean, land is working. If you're talking about the value of land, probably not, because there's too much out there right now. But land utility is coming, finally. What's up, International Travel Channel? Thanks for being here. I'd be happy with 2 cents. All right, so Brian says, any plans to buy California presale? Yes, so I I have started stacking some DEC and started stacking some SPS for that specific purpose. How much am I going to buy? I don't know. And you can see here, if you go to my in-game, balance, I have 4,320 DEC. So I can buy one pack. But I am planning to buy packs in the pre-sale. Again, what that ends up looking like, if I use credits or what, I don't know. But I do want to buy some packs. I do want to take advantage of the promo cards, even though I don't really like either of them. They're not like amazing to me, but I want to get some raffle entries. I want to hold some packs and just have some fun with it. All right, so International Travel Channel says Aftertown is doing a deep play theory analysis. Maybe. JB says, quick question: what are the rewards for the new pools? DEC Wood, for instance. That's not a quick question. But you know what? It's a good question because I have not checked to see where any of that is at. So let's go take a look at land. All this hype and hoopla around. Has land been out for 30 days? I don't think it's even been out for 30 days. No, right? When did it come out? Was it March 18th? Yeah, there's no way it's been 30 days. So you know what? I mean, this is not perfect, but let's just use a 24-hour activity. So if we look at 24-hour trade activity, you got, sorry, you can't see this, but I'm using the calculator here. So $235.71. Multiply that by 0.05, right? That's the fee that gets paid out. So $11.78. Who is calling me now? Okay. And then divide that by the total amount of liquidity, which is 3,992.36. That's your daily. Man, that's high. Wait, I did something wrong here. Hold on. 235.71 times 0.05 divided by 3,992.36. There we go. Times 365. Ooh, 107% on wood. That's wild. So, yeah, I mean, at least over the last 24 hours with the amount of activity. And see, I was putting a couple of my contributions in there. I mean, I have like a couple dollars, but I was just putting like all the wood that I would get back into the system, or into the pool, I should say. And let's see, total fees earned for me. Well, check this out. Land hasn't even been out a month. My total contribution to this pool is $1.13, but I've made 9 cents. So let's see, 0.09 divided by 1.13, and let's just assume it's been a month, right? So that's almost 8% times 12. So right now, my annualized APR is 95% on this wood and DEC pool. Now, the problem is nobody can really throw in a lot of liquidity right now, right? Because there's just like, you'd have to go and spend a ton of money. Sorry, let's just keep that there. You have to go and spend a ton of money. And you essentially bid up the price of wood in order to get it, right? That's what's super scarce right now, which is why I wasn't even like bothering selling my wood. I was just selling, I would just throw it into the, what's that called? Into the LPs. But I recently sold a good chunk because I wanted to start stacking DEC. So there's that. All right, so grain is at 0.01. So that's kind of normalized out. I haven't seen these prices change in a bit. Oh, stone is still coming down because this was 0.08 something yesterday. And then iron's coming down a little bit too. This was like 0.25, it's now 0.24. But yeah, land is actually kind of fun again. I mean, not again. Land is fun. Ish. And hopefully it'll get even more fun soon. let's actually go over here to the leaderboard, because this is where I think it's going to get interesting. Once this number starts to come down significantly, right? Everybody's still sitting on a lot of grain, and I think we're still producing a decent amount of grain. But as this gets closer to zero, and all the people who are sitting on, sitting kind of grain heavy, realize that they need more grain. My hope, well, it's going to be one of two things, right? Either the price of grain will go up, or new plots will be put online that specifically go after grain to arbitrage that. I mean, you might get both happening at the same time. Yeah, I see it's still a hell of a lot out there. And again, my analysis after 2 weeks shows that we're good for like 6 months. But I wonder how much that changes in the next couple of weeks as people choose to potentially chase down some other things, such as these permits and Aura Labs for black foil potions or midnight potions. All right, let me hop back in the chat. Phoenix is here. Says, don't forget that more DEC is starting to get locked up on land because of the update and will continue to be in demand as they give use cases to materials. So, Phoenix, I mean, in theory, I agree with you, but we're not seeing that in practice. And what I mean by that is we have not seen DEC on land increase at all. Right now, it is 1.485 billion, and I have not seen it increase from 1.485 billion in a long time. So, yes, hopefully there will be more of a sink for DEC, or like a temporary sink for DEC with land, but we're not seeing it yet. Land hasn't excited people that much. You meant game theory. Gotcha. Okay. Yo, there's Walking Keys. Yo, what's up, NFO guys? Good to see you here. New Age says the issue remains access to the tokens. Hive is the limitation, in my opinion. Yeah, I was complaining about this in the live stream last night with Dave and the group. Because I bought more SPS yesterday, and I was ready to buy a significant chunk. I mean, not a brave tofu amounts, but like I have all this ETH that I was like, I want to just convert it, and like the liquidity on the SPS ETH pool on Uniswap is not like there's no depth there. You know what? I don't have it open. Which is fine. We don't need to go into it. But it was like, I think there was like 14 million SPS or something like that. And so, I don't know, like, I was looking at how much it would cost if I wanted to like buy a whole ETH worth, and that was going to move the price 6%. And I was like, yo, one ETH, which is like $1,500, one ETH is going to move the price that much. Like, imagine if somebody wanted to 10x that. Somebody wanted to come in and buy $15,000 worth of SPS. Now, you're going to look at that and say, oh, well, if they do that, then the price of SPS goes up a lot. Yeah, it does. But the person who's going to make that transaction loses out on slippage, right? The way that I had it was listed out there on Uniswap was like, if I was to do that, I was going to take $1,571 of Ethereum. And when I bought the corresponding amount of SPS minus all the fees and whatever, and that doesn't even include gas fees, but I would only get like $1,530 worth of SPS. So there's like, I mean, I would lose $40 just on slippage, not fees, literally just slippage. and that's for a $1,500 transaction. Again, if somebody wants to come in with a $15,000 transaction, which again, we're talking like small money here compared to like the amount of value that exists in crypto, and especially on ETH, like, yeah, $15,000 transaction. Like, if you just applied it linearly, which again, you can't apply it linearly because that's not how pools work. But if you were to apply it linearly, like somebody's doing 15,000 and they're going to lose $400 worth of slippage. Like that's insane. Like $400 just vanishes like that because the pool doesn't have any depth to it. And so what I was complaining about, or not complaining about, I'm like, the only real solution to this is like, we just need to get the price of SPS up naturally, slowly, steadily, and organically. And that needs to happen with probably a lot smaller transactions. But I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Hey there, Keys. Hey there, New Age. New Age info. You guys are all talking to each other. That's cute. All right. And it says, hey, good to hear and see you. All right. Oh, Steve's in the house too. What's up, Stever? Stever says, I added about 200,000 DEC to land, but to get a lot more plots using lower level gold cards. Nice. It is on Pancake Swap. I did call you cute. Stop blushing now. All right. Where were we? Oh, look at this. SPS to 0.0085. Looks like I'm just going to have to stream for the next 24 hours if it keeps going up like this. There was something else I wanted to look at, but now I'm lost. All right, I lost my place. So let's go back to the chat. Toma the Llama is here. Bello. What's going on? I don't know if that's a typo or intentional, but thanks for being here, Toma the Llama. We're seeing Hive up to 22 cents as well. You know what? Actually, let's do that. I want to see how much liquidity is in all of these pools. I can't imagine it's like super high, but let's go to like the Pancake Swap BNB. Now, again, we're not providing any rewards to this. I'm going to disconnect my wallet. Oh, there's 40 million SPS here. Now, what's the difference between Pancake Swap, the BNB one, and Pancake Swap, the ETH one? Let's see. And then actually we can open up the Uniswap one too. Let's just disconnect as well. Oh, look at that. So remember I said this was at 14 million SPS? So it looks like 600,000 SPS has been bought out. I bought a good chunk of that. Now, how come this is not working? The SPS BNB is at 40 million, so this is a better place to buy if you're buying off-chain, off-Hive, I should say. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. So you got 13.4 million here on ETH. See that liquidity? Well, like we got to bump that liquidity up. So this is what I was trying to show you guys earlier. So if I was to buy like 1 ETH, check that out. See, so 1 ETH right now is 1568, but in return I would get 188,000 SPS, which is at this point valued only at 1525. Now, I mean, I ended up buying some regardless because I'm like, well, I think the upside on SPS is higher than whatever I'm going to lose here. But most people may not think that way, especially if they're trying to make like quick trades. And you just want better liquidity, more depth, I should say. The question is, how much volume is in? Oh, look at this, $2,000 in the last 24 hours. That's gross. So if we look at the 24-hour volume, 2,200. Oh, we got the fees already. So 22.13 divided by 214,100. I mean, yeah. See, like, there's no. Like, you get 3.7% APR. Oh, jeez. You get 3.7% APR for adding liquidity here. Now on the BNB side of things, decent amount more volume. Look at that, 21,000. All right, this is not popping up, so we can just close out all these. So what did we see? We saw like 13.4 million. We saw almost 40 million there. And then let's do tribal decks. I made a video on this yesterday or 2 days ago. I mean, there's not that much liquid SPS out there, which should help to drive the price and the value up, ideally, if demand actually kicks in. Yeah, it's 28 million here. See, this used to be 24 or 25 million, but now we're under 25 million. So people are buying SPS. That's a good sign. I'm out of coffee. All right. Justarago says, anyone tell what's causing SPS to pump specifically? Well, we have a new set coming out. DEC is close to peg. I think we've gotten through most of the overhang, which is good. And so, yeah, people are buying on speculation, and hopefully there will actually be flywheel utility in the very near future. Thomas's vouchers down a little. Yeah, I think vouchers are on their way down now for the next 2 months, but that's all good. So far, so good with these promo cards. Oh, go Hive. I unstaked 3,000 to get DEC. Nice. Town Hall pre-sale. Hive a little Bulldog video, to be honest. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Stever says, yeah, I really think ETH is in a bad place. To man layers 2 steal value and big competition from BNB and Sol. BNB US is coming back. Interesting. I mean, that could be a big one if US exchanges start including it. I mean, if we get BNB available in US exchanges, SPS is technically a BNB token, or BNB native token, I believe. So being able to onboard people from there would be awesome. What I was trying to explain to them last night was we really need onboarding from Solana, just because then somebody can go into Coinbase in the US, buy Solana, swap it on whatever the Uniswap for Solana is. I don't know what's popular now. I used to use Radium, but I'm not as well versed in Solana. And then have something in game, right? A bridge that allows you to bring it in game, like TerraBlock or something. Just Rock says, I would buy more SPS2, but I'm not because I'm saving money for California. Hoping there is more utility coming out soon for SPS. What more utility do you want? I mean, I'm always for more utility, but I don't know that there's anything that they are going to give. I don't know that there's anything else that they need to give. Like, it has utility in the sense of, like, you need it in order to earn rewards in the game. That's clutch. Aside from that, there's the governance stuff, which we've slowed down on, which is fine. But the flywheel is going to be one of the biggest utilities, even if it's indirect. Whoa. We've burned a good amount of SPS. All right, somebody needs to be tracking this better. Sorry, I don't know what's going on here, but this is not cool anymore. Sorry, I love Splinter cards, but it's just, this has been wrong for a long time. Like, because I think we just crossed 133 million. And so now we've already burned another 758,000. So maybe the flywheel is kind of in action now. But see, this is what I'm trying to get at, right? Company's going to buy, we'll just say like $30,000 worth of value every week for credits. Now I'm going to run this on the calculator outside. But like $30,000 worth of value divided by 0.01, right? Because that's how much SPS, assuming SPS is 1 penny, that means we would be burning 3 million SPS per week for the appropriate amount of DEC. But that would create that would create 30 million DEC, and I don't think that we're burning through 30 million DEC every week. In fact, look at this. Net, we're not even doing it over the last 30 days or 2 months. So it's probably a little too much on the hype cycle there. Because keep in mind, we burn that SPS for DEC. That's not the end of the story. Now we need to find a place and a home for that DEC. Now it could be burned permanently through maybe like guild upgrades. It could find a sink temporarily with something like land. It could find a more temporary sink with something like the Dow if, people spend on Conclave Arcana. But again, only half of it goes there. But this could get exciting. I think with Rebellion, the difference between Rebellion and now is that back then, we didn't quite have DEC as locked in as we do now. Plus, there were so many other forms of DEC inflation, right? You had a lot of the reward cards. You had gladiator cards. You had leaderboards even. And we just don't have that anymore, which is good. So, see, what I'm trying to get at here is like, okay, players are sitting on like 1.4 billion DEC, we'll call it. So keep in mind that the entire presale is 4.4 billion DEC. So let's say we were to not mint any new DEC. Players go in and maybe on day one, they spend everything, right? 1.4 billion DEC. Half of it goes to the DAO, half of it goes to the company. Company immediately sells it back into circulation, right? So DEC goes a little bit above peg, company sells it, and now we're kind of like back at square one. But now there's 700,000 DEC out in the ecosystem. Sorry, 700 million DEC. At which point, community buys that, spends it again, and we now have 350 million going to the DAO from that, and another 350 million going to the team. But all in all, we've hit over $1 billion worth of value from the presale, right? So 1/4 of the presale, almost 1/4, is like completed in terms of demand, and we didn't touch anything, right? And then you could do that. You could do the same thing. So another 350 million comes out. You split that in half. That's 175. Then you split it in half again, right? All the way down until whatever. So obviously, if we are to get anywhere close to selling it out, we would have to mint some DEC. But that's why I'm saying I really don't want us to mint more than $1 billion DEC, because $1 billion DEC gets us to 2.4 billion now, or 2.5 billion if you count what's in the pools and company. But keep in mind that DEC has double utility, right? Half of it comes back out. So really, 2.5 billion DEC out in the ecosystem is equal to, I don't know, close to what we'll call it, 5 billion worth of demand, right? Am I doing that right? Is the math right there? I mean, it's at least closer in the ballpark. And that would still leave us with a 600 million DEC overhang. You get what I'm saying? Right? Like, we can sell out the presale. So I'm not all about like going absolutely crazy and ham on burning a ton of SPS just because we can. I would love for it to be slow and methodical. Okay, so Just Rock says I would buy more SPS2, but I'm not. Oh, I think we covered that already. Yeah, BNB is letting money come in again from banks again. They stopped, but now the US is pro crypto again. It's coming back. Oh, cool. Okay. Thinking for more of a use case to make me buy more. I can't earn anymore. I'm kind of capped out. Why can't you earn anymore? Just playing wild. Steve says I don't think Coinbase will carry BNB. Bummer. Yeah, Coinbase was very much on the ETH and Solana train. I do have 24,000 SPS I might burn if DC gets to 0.95. Interesting. Okay, nice. Yo, Brandon's here. Brandon says, just got here. Is the promised recession over? I'm not going to get those promised low entry prices. Damn. I don't know, man. You never know. Anything can change on a tweet. Phoenix says, I wrote down SPS burnt yesterday at 132,688 about this time yesterday. Okay. So we burned about like 80, 70,000 more. But I'm just saying in general, we were at 132 something not too long ago. Like maybe a week or two ago. So it's good to see us burning more. Late. What's going on, Wibble? Thomas says people might take some from land. Yeah, that's another thing. They might take some from land too. Chester August says, I have 5 million stake. I'm already on top of the curve when it comes to SPS earned from winning matches. Oh, nice. Okay. So, yeah, I can see you've... Man, 5 million SPS. Can you imagine if that were to go back up to $1? Or what were Bulldog's things? 25 million? Sorry, 25 cents. I think the highest I heard him say was 60 cents. Which is coming from ChatGPT, right? So... That would be 1 million SPS burnt in the last day. Wait, am I not reading that right? 132. Oh, okay. Sorry, you're right. Yes. So somebody did burn about 1 million SPS then. Good stuff. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Phoenix. I missed the first 3 numbers. More than 1 million, actually. Oh, it's like 1.1. Oh. Damn. Second coffee and I'm still sleepy. Steve says, I don't think big landowners are going to take it off. For the first time, we can make stuff to sell soon. I agree. I think you might get some of the smaller land folks who maybe like can't take full advantage. But at this point, like, I think land is too exciting is not the word. Intriguing, maybe. Right? Like, because you have no idea what could potentially happen with all the changes coming to land, right? You're going to get your first use case for research soon. You're going to get another potential use case with the conflict wagons, right? All that's starting within the next 2 to 3 months. I mean, sure, maybe you think you can take it off now and then pause your land for a minute, buy the pre-sale, maybe sell the packs on the secondary, buy back into DEC and get your land working again, just to take advantage of like some of the pre-sale bonuses and benefits. But I don't know. I certainly wouldn't want to like risk it, especially if everything or if things on land start to become really interesting. That being said, things on land have never really been interesting. So let's be honest about that. And something like land is very slow moving. I have very little confidence that something is just going to like boom and all of a sudden people are like, oh my gosh, I need to take advantage of this. Like we literally just talked about how if you look at the 24-hour on the trade hub for wood, I mean, you're earning stupid amounts, right? It was like 95% APR on wood. Again, we're extrapolating a 1-day fee, but still, here, let's do this. Let's check iron, right? Because iron has more. Actually, I think wood is the best one. No, hold on. Stone might be 338.65 times 0.05. $16.9 divided by 4674.41. That's 365. Yeah, 132% for stone. But I don't know, man. That's kind of cool. Where it's like, okay, so obviously, so much of this is still very volatile because we're in price discovery mode for all of these resources, including grain. But interesting nonetheless. Also, might be able to the potion to bring black cards for survival. Yep. All right. Vlogging says, I just understood that survival kills my cards from everywhere, but still, I just can't. Yeah, you know, I had the same problem. I lost a lot of cards at the beginning of the season that are not maxed, and so it's like I'm pretty much going the rest of the season without them, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Toma the Llama says, for me, I have a lot of CL cards on land. If I buy beta Untamed old promos, they require less DEC and have more production than max, so I'm getting DEC that way. Okay. Forgot what it's called, but Matt said they might use land stuff for that also. You talking about the conflict wagons? Right now, all I know is for land, we're going to get this black foil potion. There's the potential for the revival potion, although that seems like it's further down the road. And then conflict, potential stuff with conflicts. So I would say the survival mode or the revival potions for survival mode, I don't think we would see that until like July or August at the earliest. Mainly because Cryptomancer seems to be hard at work doing the midnight potion stuff now, which is good. Assuming he gets that out in the next couple, well, we'll just say it takes him a month, right? So he gets it out. Well, actually, they want to get it out beforehand, but let's just say like that takes up the rest of his April, for example. In May, maybe he spends May and June working on the conflict stuff, right? Getting all that set because conflicts can start as early as June. And then circle back around in maybe June or July to work on the survival mode potions, right? The revival potions. Now, technically, I don't know the technical requirements, but from what Cryptomancer was saying, it seems like now that he's got it down, it's not necessarily a copy paste, but he can emulate it, right? He knows exactly how to, if he's done it once, he can do it again. So the idea of having like 2 additional work sites available on land in the next like 4 months, right? The Aura lab and then whatever the revival potion lab might be, could be interesting. And that would start to eat up space on land as well. Right? So all of a sudden there's less being produced and more potentially needed. You get what I'm saying? Who's calling me? Why am I so popular today? I don't even recognize these numbers. Okay, so there's 5 potions. Hey, once you can make 1 potion, why not 2? Exactly. Alex says, what do I do with all my research? Well, you'll be able to spend your research on a permit to make potions in the very near future. I haven't logged in the game in over a year. It looks very different now. I would highly recommend checking it out. All right, I'm going to play a battle or 2, and then we'll probably call it a day, because we are approaching the 1 hour mark, and I want to get some other things done. Oh, people coming back. Let's go. Vlogging says, will you buy new packs when they release? I don't know just yet if I do. Yeah, I'm planning to buy some in the pre-sale. I mean, I bought some Rebellion when Rebellion came out. Not that much, but I remember I did get... I got a couple BCXs of Mantroth and a couple BCXs of Grimoire Dune Smith. I'll at the very least do that again. Then we'll see what happens. I don't know if I like this rule set, but you know what? Sure, why not? Let's see what happens. Alex says, I just have a lot of research. When they started land, I went on the Magic Land with a bunch of beta legendary max. All right, well, you'll be able to spend it soon. I don't know how much it's going to... I don't know how much those permits are going to cost, but hopefully we'll find out in the next couple of weeks here. Because I have to imagine they want to get this out sooner rather than later. In fact... I'll save this for a video. Because I'm looking at their maintenance windows, right? So they have maintenance windows on the 15th, the 29th. Actually, they have a special one on the 22nd, which is probably going to be for the pre-sale. So I would have to imagine they would want to get, because May 13th. So, okay, April 15th, April 29th, May 13th. That's their standard. Then they have a special one on the 22nd. My guess is if they probably want to get the black foil potion production out by the 29th, which is that's this month, guys. That's kind of awesome, actually, if they can knock that out. I think I'm going to lose. Yeah, I played it too casually on there. Man, I've just been losing like crazy. I made it all the way up to champion, and then I've just been getting knocked down. It doesn't feel good. But I guess I'm still above 50%. Run the game seems to go nowhere, so I just sold all the cards for the majority I've got. Good for you, man. I hope you're able to do something with that money. Steve says you'll be able to sell permits, also given... Not sure on the value, yeah. But sitting on stuff in plots. When they started research, I was actually on the top 10 for like a minute. Okay. Oh, only neutrals. This is one of the dumbest rule sets too. I don't even have very many good neutral cards, so this is kind of dumb. I do like this card though. Chaos Adjutant has quickly become a fun one to play with. I think we're not going to go with Grandmaster Wraith. Maybe we'll go with Yasik, actually, just for the fun of it. Yeah, you know what? Oh, you know what? Sure, why not? Let's see what happens. Okay. Has the team got better with actually doing things, or do they still take forever? They've gotten better. A lot better, actually. The team got better with actually doing things. Oh, the same question. Waka. Haha. Waka will always live in infamy. Oh, great. That's just awesome. At least we hit our poisons. But that's not going to be enough. God, this game is so dumb sometimes. All right. I have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games today. All right, guys. That's all I got for you all. I may gamble some packs. Last time I got Gold Rage. Nice. Yeah, I think that's all we got for today. We'll leave it here. I hope you all have a phenomenal weekend ahead. And we got some exciting stuff coming up soon. I don't know if there's anything else to really discuss. We can take a look at SPS price one more time. See if it's popped up into the 8.6 range. Come on now. Oh, look at that. It did. And DEC's at 922 Splintoshis. Bitcoin's flirting with 83,000. Let's go. Hopefully this is a fun crypto weekend. All right, guys, have an amazing day, night, whatever time it is. I got a busy weekend ahead, so I'll be honest. I don't know if I'll be able to live stream because I'm busy tomorrow morning and I'm busy on Sunday morning. Maybe tomorrow afternoon, but I don't know. I probably won't want to live stream. We'll see. But I will catch up with you all soon. Oh my gosh, look at this. Our Faded Glory Plays. What up? I haven't seen this username in a while. People are coming back. Well, welcome back. I'll catch up with you all soon. Peace.